Hello, dear students, friends, learners, and professionals. Welcome to Billion Hopes AI. Welcome to AI Power of 10, our beautiful 90-minute analytical session on the 10 most important developments of the past few weeks. I am Mentor Sandy, bringing you AI for real impact. So, my dear friends, let's begin the work for today. AI Power of 10. 10 powerful, actionable AI insights for all learners. Here are the 10 topics for today. My dear friends, one by one, we will get into all of these. And remember, this is our 33rd session. I welcome wholeheartedly all our new members who keep joining constantly. Thank you so much for trusting us and becoming our members. This is our 33rd session. Try watching as many of the previous sessions that you can. And of course, you can revise all of them on our AI Power of 10 Atlas, which is the online website, which I will be demoing right now. So, my dear friends, AI Power of 10 Powerful Actionable AI Insights is our flagship program on this channel. And to make the learning wonderfully easy, we built an atlas as well. As you know, this atlas is only for our premium subscribers, that is our members. And we update every session as soon as it is prepared. I will give you a demo of this straight away. My dear friends, when you open the link given, it's given in the comments also, this specific link, this is the website that opens up. So this is our AI Power of 10 Atlas. The password you enter here. And as soon as you enter the password, this beautiful magical website opens up. Remember, everything that has been covered by me here is all present here. So in the left panel, you can see all the 33 sessions. You can jump between sessions as you wish. You can go to the latest session. On the top, there are most important labels. For example, chips, compute, and infra. So this is all about the hardware. So there are 70 analyses available on that. Now you wish to see India, AI, and sovereign strategy. You click on that. It gets selected. 99 editorials available. You can deselect it and you will revert to the original altogether. So that should come out to be 330 editorials once you deselect it. Absolutely. Now, when you open any individual session, for example, how China innovated, the related topics are linked below. Got it? So, how China innovated, you wish to have a deep AI lens. Here is the AI lens. Very, very deep insights also in addition to whatever I am teaching in the class. So this is truly magical for any learner. You cannot have anything better than this. You can turn it to any of the languages you want to. So let's turn it to Hindi. Absolutely. और ये सब कुछ इस तरह हिंदी में परिवर्तित हो जाएगा, अनुवादित हो जाएगा रियल टाइम में. समझ रहे हैं? तो आप इसे आराम से हिंदी में पढ़िए. ये आपके ऊपर है. And then you come back to English and everything comes to the original. Remember, whenever you are using the machine translation feature, there will be 5 or 10% mistakes, laughable errors and all that. So kindly ignore that because we don't have any control over that. I hope this is clear. You have any feedback, any message, here is the message link. Just click it. The message box will open up. Send the message to us. Got it? So this is the messaging box. And of course, the wonderful AI quizzes. One quiz per session is there. So for today's quiz, select August, and here is session 33 quiz. Give it a time thing. And so once you solve it and submit it, the whole thing comes up. You can download the sessions PDF, etc. I do not think anything better than this can be created for a learner. And I'm certain you will agree. So word of appreciation for my entire team that built it, that updates it regularly, is in order. In the comment thread, share your experience. Let us know and tell us honestly, are you solving the quizzes or not? Go ahead, do it. Thank you so much. So, my dear friends, on our channel, currently you are level 2. We have also started Thursday to Thursday AI agent series. I hope you're watching it. The July strategic AI review will be presented on Monday. Chief AI officer level is also being populated regularly. And of course, private one day AI mentoring. If you know any CXO who is troubled and who needs urgent help, they can get in touch. So, my dear friends, by 2035, AI will touch our lives in every conceivable way. The true promise will be measured not by what it creates, but how wisely we guide it. Technology will surely accelerate the future, but values will decide the direction. And this is an absolute here and now problem. The whole paraphernalia of AI which is being built across the world, how do you morally guide it into the right direction? That is where the real challenge lies. Got it? I hope these words of motivation are helping you. Remember, you have already started your journey of learning AI. Do not give up. Keep learning bit by bit, piece by piece, because the future belongs to AI, robotics, and quantum. Keep learning, and you will have a very sound footing in the careers of tomorrow. Do not give up at all. Got it? My dear friends. So, how do you get the maximum value from the Billion Hopes ecosystem? 6 golden rules. Number 1, AI Power of 10 Atlas. The password from today is my premium. Remember, this is the new password, my premium. MYPREMIUM. Password for Atlas as well as quiz. Keep that in mind. Solve the quiz. Subscribe to our newsletter. Best current updates are available on the Insights website. If you're not using it daily, you're missing a lot. Extremely high quality content on the parent site, and of course, our great courses. These are 6 ways we can help you. Go ahead, make the most of it. I wish you all the best. So, my dear friends, if you still haven't joined this database, go ahead and join it. Every evening, my team sends an update of the latest creations we have done that helps you stay in touch and never miss anything important. I wish you all the best with this too. Here are the 10 AI articles for today. We have a wonderful session lined up. And how do we create these sessions? Every day we get 10 to 12 major news on AI from across the world media. And for a week, I will get around 60 to 70 high quality news items. Some of them are very repetitive. I try to bring the 10 best non-repetitive kind of ideas. And for this week, here are the 10 best. Yes or no? So shall I begin? The very first that we are going to take up today, the Beijing model of innovation. How exactly did Xi Jinping over the past 13, 14 years since he took charge innovate? What was his secret formula? Because the way China has innovated, the way China has cracked some of the most important technologies for the 21st century is breathtaking. So we are going to see the Beijing model of innovation today. This is the very first in it. And there's so much we can learn from them. No news content for AI training without licenses. There is a huge issue with AI, LLMs, copyrights. I have spoken on that several times earlier. In fact, if you can open up the Atlas, and what you can do is just type copyright. Got it? Once you type copyright in this, and everything we have discussed about copyright, 9 edits come up. You see the power of this, right? This is why the Atlas is extremely powerful. If you are a working professional, imagine the power of this. So you just type in copyright here, and there are 9 such edits we have already given. Got it? So that's why I say make it a habit to use this on a very regular basis. So my dear friends, a major news company of India, ANI, has sued the LLMs that they are cheating, they are copying my content, And when someone asks a question to an LLM in the chat box, they just regurgitate my news. They have not paid me anything. The Delhi High Court has given a very nuanced judgment. I will explain what that judgment is. This is an evolving story. And from zero, I will explain what is this copyright thing. I hope that really helps you. A very common problem in companies is they will start with a lot of enthusiasm. An AI pilot will be created, proof of concept will be created, and then everything dies down. Why? Why, oh, why? Pratik Mittal says, it is good if the AI bubble bursts. Boom! It will help everyone. So that's a very contrarian perspective, and we want to see why he says that. AI's dot-com deja-vu. Dot-com mania, 1999, 2000, 2001. What happened in the in the dot-com mania and the bust might repeat with AI very soon. We have spoken about the AI bubble so many times. So I'm back to my atlas and I just typed bubble. So let us see what we get here. Oh, we have got 17 edits on bubbles. You see that? So on AI bubble, there is so much available. As I said, my dear friends, make this your addiction. You can literally find pearls of wisdom, which otherwise you will spend hours tracking. Structured knowledge, and I am committed to making this atlas an ongoing adventure. It will not stop. It will go on for years and years. Imagine in 5 years where it will be. I hope you will be with me for the next 5 years at least. Yes or no? Please do comment. So my dear friends, it's so enjoyable discussing all this with you. Then we will talk about why open weight AI models are difficult to access. This is a very practical one from Rahul Mathan. Voice AI is on a song. In India, voice AI has truly arrived and it's very good. AI and the fate of economists. So that's a very profession-specific insight. AI and cyber, the double helix of national security threat. M.K. Narayanan is the former national security advisor. Data centers must pay their true costs. Interesting. So, these are the 10 solid, powerful editorials for today. I hope you enjoy, I hope you learn a lot, and I hope your maturity with this grows with every passing day. There absolutely is no other service like AI Power of 10, so be with us for a long, long time. Here it is. AI Power of 10. Remember, my dear friends, this session we will be releasing to everyone for free on the internet. Let everyone taste this quality. Let everyone enjoy this quality. And we will change the password in a few days. But for the time being, we are releasing this particular session number 33 for free for everyone. Once in a while, we do that. The very first edit for today, the Beijing model of innovation. Summary, analysis, details, and insights. My dear friends, what China is doing is, in a very deliberate move, they are linking universities, startups, companies, and government. 1, 2, 3, 4. They want science research to move into commercially viable tech. This linking is their secret sauce. So this is an innovation model which combines talent, commercialization platforms, and very patient state funding. For years, they don't question. With AI and humanoid robotics leading growth. So far, the model seems to be working rather well. Who can predict what the future holds? But at least for the time being, it seems that this strategy is actually delivering results. My dear friends, as I said, this session we are releasing on the internet for free. So if you are still not a member, there is a join link below. Go ahead and join our membership right away. There are 5 levels of membership, as I said. Level 2, level 3, level 4 are excellent levels. Go ahead and join right now. Government joins innovation. See, normally in America, innovation is the work of individuals and private parties. And government should only be a facilitator and an enabler and should watch from the sidelines. This is the normal wisdom from the Western world. So China has turned it upside down. What China does is a different path. It gives clearly defined roles to universities, startups, markets, and it creates a whole innovation ecosystem. So this is kind of a controlled state capitalism with Xi Jinping being the primary state capitalist. Good or bad, this is their model. So far, it seems to be delivering. Who knows what tomorrow holds? The foundation is massive concentration of research universities. They have pumped in billions of dollars. So the Peking University and Tsinghua University, they lead, and there are advanced AI and robotics firm. For example, Tsinghua graduate, they founded Moonshot, and we know the kind of AI model that Moonshot has been churning out has spooked the Western world. So there is absolutely authentic research happening. Distillation or no distillation, that's another matter. So academic models, academic talent linked with state support ended up creating Kimi K3 and shaking the Western world into rethinking its entire approach, and massive IPOs are lined up and they just don't know what to do about them. So there is a closed loop from project discovery to startup incubation. And the Chinese government has built a very deep pool of research talent. Now, this is where India in AI and robotics is suffering a lot. We don't have a very deep pool of research talent. Unless we build that real AI research and engineering talent, not just wrapper creators. No. We are talking of real AI, machine learning, robotics, engineering and creating talent, not the commercial side of it. And that's a very big difference. So China invested in it. Now, the real challenge is when you do very well in the lab, can you turn it to a business? So this is called the commercialization gap or the valley of death. So what is the valley of death? Valley of death is when a great product inside a lab reaches the market and is unable to get customers. So that's the valley of death. And the product simply dies, withers away. Clusters compete for talent. So Zhongguancun stands at the forefront of China's technology ecosystem. And there are rival innovation clusters in Shenzhen, Shanghai, Hangzhou. And they are competing with each other. They are competing for talent because ultimately talent is what decides everything, right? So it is like various top IT cities in India competing with each other. But this is like one order of magnitude higher what's happening in China because the state is behind them. And that makes all the difference. China responds to the valley of death with an intelligent commercialization platform run by tech managers who actually understand the commercial side of it. What a beautiful article, and there's so much India can learn and benefit from. So these tech managers who also understand the commercial side, they did more than 1 lakh tech contracts in the previous year. Markets and companies are always at the center. Because if you're a company, then you are actually into the practical side of it. And universities do the theoretical research side of it. They come together, which is a very normal thing. And companies also lead collaborative research. Universities supply talent and intellectual support. State builds the foundation. So, as per Xi Jinping's thought, the Chinese state's role is to provide hard infra. Science parks, incubators, and all of them are concentrated around Zhongguancun. So that's a tech area they have made. That is the first role, give hard infra. The second role is give capital and connect startups with private ventures. So the moment the talented people realize that the state is willing to provide hard infra and willing to provide state-backed capital, a lot becomes smoother, especially when you are up against a giant like America. This state support is critical, without which you can't do anything. And as I said, so far, this model has worked wonders. Who knows what happens in the future, but for now, this is patient capital. So, because it is the Chinese state which is taking up ownership, it can bear losses 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Private venture funds can't do it. This is called patient capital. Got it? Innovation can be eased because of no pressure here. I hope this is clear. Now, the problem is wasteful spending. Suppose the Chinese state is actually funding and is not able to do the due diligence very microscopically, then, well, the tendency to waste the funding will be high. This happens whether it's a capitalist model or a Chinese state capitalist model. And the Chinese state managers have realized that this is a problem. So they have now changed the rules. They have tightened local fund spending because cluster competition and collapsing land sale revenue drove provinces to chase national champions without any capacity for due diligence. See, in China, the property market has been deflated by Xi Jinping's deliberate strategy. Homes are for living, they are not for trading and speculating. This is Xi Jinping's stated mission. This is the exact antithesis of how a capitalist model actually works, where homes and properties are nothing more than speculative assets for most, or for many. In China, it is the reverse, and they have deflated that bubble completely. Because of that, what has happened is the stamp fees which the provinces were collecting has gone down drastically. So they are running after AI champions, bringing them with less due diligence. And that is where problem. I hope the background is clear. Robotics. Now, China realizes that the future, in addition to AI, also belongs to physical AI, which is robotics, and of course, quantum. You see, by 2030, AI, robotics, and quantum, these three will end up defining so much in the world. And for you as a career move also, learning these three in tandem slowly and steadily at whatever level of technical competence you have should really help you. In my billion project, I will also be adding the robotics and the quantum side shortly, and we'll learn and grow together. My dear friends, so AI and robotics are the twin innovation engines, and a state-run humanoid robotics center is doing a mass production supply chain. You know what the real risk now is? The world will be flooded by China-made humanoid robots. Although the godfather of robotics, Rodney Brooks, has often warned that life-size humanoid robots are an impossibility in home because they'll be very heavy, and the sheer risk of a very heavy humanoid walking around in the home is not advisable. So maybe we will have very short-heighted robots, and if they're very short-heighted, they may not be humanoid at all. So that's an evolving issue. We will see. Of course, in the factories and in commercial settings, you can always have humanoids. So we'll see how the world evolves. We are all here together for the next 10 years. We'll learn together. Humanoids are moving towards scale. So robots are becoming cheaper. Full automation is expanding. And by 2030, the robots may be 50% cheaper. They are literally planning on building millions of robots and flooding the world, and China will do it. It has the manufacturing prowess to do it. So the net summary of whatever we are learning here, my dear friends, something from which India can learn a lot. Xi Jinping's China model now combines university talent, company demand, commercialization, and patient public capital. This is how they have built an ecosystem. There is no other way you can compete with America. Here are some additional inputs for the serious students. Tech concepts: AI, humanoid robots, open source AI model, automation, embodied AI. Very important terms. I always advise all the learners to maintain a hard notebook in this age of AI. Yes, because the brain is not AI, right? It is natural intelligence. Maintain a hard notebook. Every edit you have learned with me, this is the 33rd session. Write down the summary in 2-3 lines in your own words. You have no idea how magical it is for training your own real organic biological neurons. They get trained in a particular way when you put pen to paper. All the thoughts crystallize. It's not trivial. And these 5 concepts at least, write them down, think about it, do some more research, and write them. Slowly as you do, and that hard notebook with your own handwriting fills up, you'll have a different level of confidence. Trust me, this is how the human brain works. Everything else is nonsense. I still make my own handwritten notes. So what if this is the age of AI? My brain is not AI, right? And I cannot escape my brain. It's biological. It will remain biological. So this is a beautiful image infographic, which I'll advise you to take your time. The download link is also given. All those who are watching for free on the internet, enjoy, download everything, watch the AI Atlas for the moment. I have given you the link, the password also. Enjoy it and go ahead and join the membership ASAP. We come to the second one, LLMs and copyright protection. This is perhaps one of the hottest cases in the world. And I'll explain everything from ground zero once again. And as I said, on copyright, you have an enormous amount of content available in the Atlas. Just type copyright here and you will have everything pop up. So here it is. And as you can see, everything we have created on copyright is there. All the analyses are here. So this is the power of our Atlas, and it's enriching so much. You'll fall in love as you use it more and more. And you can always send us a message here, a word of praise or any feedback and all that. Thank you. My dear friends, we come to LLMs and copyright protection. So this is the case by a news aggregator ANI in India. Summary. It's a very technical thing. I'll deconstruct it completely. I'll explain it from ground zero. Don't worry. Analysis. And the final infographic. Okay. And then we will go to why AI pilots die. My dear friends, when the LLMs were created for the first time, large language model, these are deep learning models. Part of machine learning, part of AI. In deep learning, you create an artificial neural network with multiple layers, input layer, output layer, and hundreds of hidden layers. Each layer can have 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 neurons, mathematical calculating units. And you have the whole ANN, artificial neural network. Data is fed, it passes through the whole thing, final output is checked, errors are calculated using certain algorithms, and then everything is passed back propagation. And you use various methods to do it, and you adjust all the parameters, weights and biases, which are the learned parameters. When you hear that Kimi K3 has 1.8 trillion parameters or 2 trillion parameters or 3, these are the parameters we are talking about. Data goes in forward pass, back prof, forward pass, back prof, forward pass, back prof, thousands of times. That's why it's a very costly exercise. You are putting in internet forward pass. So all these LLMs have read the whole internet, millions of books and all that. You know that. Now the problem is they have also read news websites, right? And all the news items go, they learn the patterns. And when you and me, when we do the inferencing, when we actually ask ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok or Fable something about a current affair, the LLM goes back, generates intelligence in real time. There is no stored database. That is why AI is so costly, and you need these planet level energy guzzling data centers. It's not IT and computer science, it's creation of intelligence at that moment. That's why it's a very energy consuming thing. They use all that knowledge and patterns they have learned, and they produce the news. Now the news websites like ANI are petrified. They are petrified because these LLMs have read the ANI website also. They know those patterns and they are reproducing it in their own style. So the ANI company, it lodged a case in the Indian judiciary that this is fraud, stop them, they must pay us. And the Indian judiciary has taken a view on it. So this is a major battle. Do LLMs cheat when they ingest the whole internet and the millions of books, or it is a fair use? It is an evolving issue. I have spoken on it for so many months. Go to the Atlas and see it. And right now, I will speak specifically on the ANI case and what is going on. Many of you who are not technology side people, you can actually make your careers in AI governance, AI copyright. All these are ancillary careers which are coming up. Got it? Now, I am from the tech side and I understand AI technically, but I also see the potential in AI in medicine, AI in hospitality, AI in law, AI in judiciary. Wherever there is data and wherever you need insights from data, there is AI. And robotics is coming and quantum is coming. The coming world will be completely different. Trust me. We like it or we don't like it. It is not on us now. The revolution is here. So learn it and build a great career. That is the whole point, right? And that's what my Billion Homes project on AI is also all about. So the Delhi High Court has given an interim ruling. It does not permit unrestricted use of copyrighted news for training AI systems, but many questions have been left unanswered. Storage, fair dealing, public interest, licensing, substantial reproduction, and judicial review, all those are unresolved because actually it's a very big issue. And eventually, you know what will happen? This whole issue of whether LLMs are misusing copyrighted material when they do the inferencing and give answer will eventually be resolved by the American Supreme Court. You can take that as a guarantee from me. No other nationality or jurisdiction is going to solve it. AI originated in the modern form from America. And eventually it is the American Supreme Court, some landmark decision which will arrive any day now, which will settle this issue once and for all. Can LLMs ingest the whole internet and millions of books and keep reproducing answers, jacking up their own valuations while not paying a single penny to those who created that? This is a pending issue in AI. I hope you understand its importance, right? So we go back to the basics. This is what I always do. What is copyright? You created something absolutely original. So you are the automatic owner of it. AI Power of 10 by Mentor Sandy in Billion Hopes is my creation. It is my copyright. Because this is an absolutely unique offering. So automatically this digital work is my copyright. Got it? Now what is generative AI? Generative AI is a form of deep learning where you form a software which learns from what others have created. Got it? And in fact, there would have been no Gen AI had it not trained on the entire internet. So on the internet, you have dedicated medical sites with copyrighted material. You can read it. You cannot reproduce it on your own website without permission. ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, everything AI. They have studied all the websites and they are blatantly reproducing it. So generative AI means that, right? So what to do? This is what is going on. What is the ANI case? So this is an Indian news agency. It has filed a case against Sam Altman's OpenAI. And it says, you are cheating. You are reading my website and reproducing them. How dare you do that? So ANI claims, why are you not paying me? What you are producing is very close to what I am finding and reporting. And you are actually giving a lot of answers with an attribution to ANI which are not correct. So this is a very serious allegation and my reputation is harmed. Give me money. OpenAI says, see, we are not reproducing anything word for word. We are only learning patterns. This is the crux of the legal debate. The American Supreme Court someday will settle it once and for all. Whether you learn patterns or whether you are reproducing verbatim, that is the whole debate. And I don't know what side the coin will flip eventually. We all wait and watch. So the Delhi High Court has said, this is a very big case. It spoke about AI training, reproduce output, false attribution, jurisdictional matter. It did not give any final judgment on the copyright issue. Broadly, it has spoken on the issues, but it hasn't settled anything. I hope you understand that. Of course, it said that you cannot broadly use copyrighted material. It is a bad thing. But the code did not say what will happen with the pattern learning claim side of it. So it's a very complex thing. As I said, US Supreme Court, bro, finally we wait for them. So this case is important because publishers are getting their entire websites scraped by LLMs. And in return, they are getting zilch. So I have created several websites on various knowledge topics myself over the past many years. And the LLMs have scraped it completely. And they are reproducing those answers many a time with attribution, of course. But I have received not a single cent from these LLMs. So it definitely hurts. Plus, Google actually doing the AI summary part of it has killed traffics to websites. So there is a lot of tension in the ecosystem. And globally, such fights are going on everywhere. Is the whole issue clear? Good. So we can now move on. There is an interim order, and the Delhi High Court said, I cannot give you injunctive relief. That means ANI will not get any relief that LLMs can no longer produce ANI related material. India's copyright law needs a very major upgrade in this AI age. However, you will have appeals, the matter will go to Supreme Court, and we'll see what happens. Delhi High Court's order has not decided on the right of every LLM using copyrighted material for its training or reproduction. So, unrestricted use of public data is not permitted. The Delhi High Court did not permit this explicitly. I hope that is clear. On one hand, the public likes tech-enabled convenience. And those who own the copyright, they will always want statutory protections. Otherwise, what is the incentive to create original content? Copyright controls storage. If I am the copyright owner of a product, third parties cannot reproduce it without my permission. You need my explicit permission, which I will decide how to give and under what commercial terms to give. Section 14, Copyright Act 57. It even restricts unauthorized storage. So the LLMs which automatically train by reading these websites scraped copyright data. No permission is taken. It is a direct challenge to Section 14. And prima facie, it looks illegal, right? Public access preserves copyright. So the Delhi High Court said that ANI is the owner of its content. Agreed. And freely available original literary work will remain protected. You can read it, you cannot reproduce it, even if it is freely available. So public accessibility does not mean that copyright has died. That's a very important principle. I hope that is clear. Evidence defeated injunction. So ANI made certain claims that they have stolen, they have infringed. And when they, inside the code, did some inferencing on ChatGPT, actual reproductions, they were not verbatim. So the answers that came from ChatGPT were not a word-for-word copy of what was there on the ANI website. So unfortunately for the ANI fellows, they could not prove that. As I said, the trillion-dollar question is this: whether an LLM can memorize and regurgitate enough protected material to become infringing remains an open question. This is a question worldwide, not just in India. And as I said, finally wait for the US Supreme Court. Once it decides, that will be followed across the world. And if it says that this is infringement, LLMs are toast. They'll have to pay everyone. They have no money to do that. That's it. There is nothing more to it. My dear friends, substantial copying still matters. So, this was a factual finding. The court said that you could not reproduce word for word in ChatGPT what you own so well. We cannot give you an injunction. Injunction means you cannot bar for the moment. But again, that is not a general permission to AI to read everything. If someday absolutely identical or substantially similar reproduction starts happening, an injunction will arrive. In Munich, that has already happened. So, various jurisdictions are slowly moving forward on this, and one day you will have an atomic explosion and a final order, and that's the end of the debate. We wait for that day. So, other issues are storing of proprietary data, fair dealing exemptions. So, these are all very technical things on the legal side. This will go on and on and on. Section 52 exempts certain fair dealing, including private personal use and research. So, along with Section 14, the Delhi High Court said that storing copyright data is generally infringing. And we agree. But injunction is not available at this moment. So, ANI did not win this case. It could not stop the LLM from reproducing. So, they'll keep reproducing. And that was a Canadian precedent. So the precedent came from Canada, and the court said private or personal use for research relatively broadly is taken for human benefit. So that's it. 3-factor test. Training only use, actual or potential harm to the business of ANI, and whether ChatGPT serves public interest. This is called the 3-factor test. When it started questioning ChatGPT, it found different outputs, not ANI outputs. No business harm was seen, and factual support that OpenAI used ANI material only for training. So, no injunction at all. Sorry, ANI. Sorry. The issue of public interest still needs a lot of work, and the final summary is the matter is in the gray zone. No one knows what will happen finally. Wait and watch. Every day is an evolving story here. Go through this. LLM, training data, model memorization, AI generated output, substantial similarity. So these are 5 technical concepts. Learners should note them down in their own notebook. Find more, write. Writing with your own hand, making a hard notebook, slowly, steadily trains your brain in a very structured way, makes you very confident, and it is recommended. Of course, you may not do it, that's your choice. So, my friend, if you do it, it will benefit. Download today's session. The PPT link is given. The presentation downloadable PDF link is given. Check out the atlas. Go and solve the quiz. All this and more by our team to make the learning experience an absolutely top-notch one. Okay, so let's move on. Most AI pilots die. So companies, they start doing AI with a lot of enthusiasm, and very soon they realize it's all dead, gone, finished. You see that? And that's a tragedy. It should not really be happening this way. But AI pilots are ending up in the graveyard. So let's analyze why it happens. This is the full page news in Live Mint. Long story. Most AI pilots fail because companies that start AI pilots with a lot of enthusiasm and josh, they realize that to turn AI into an actual business process, mix AI, include AI, make it inherent to an actual business process, requires a fundamental rework of the business process itself. And companies get spooked. You want to scale AI? You have to fix data, redesign workflow, build governance guardrails. All that needs CXO commitment. And that is often missing. They just don't have the time. Plus, it's a critical strategic call to be made. Most CXOs and boards, they step back at that stage. And hence, AI just remains a pilot. What a beautiful insight. And this is exactly what happens when I consult companies. So this is the first thing I tell them. If we don't have the CXO commitment, there is no point in going forward because you won't make it. The CXOs have to agree that yes, we are willing to do this change and whatever it takes. Otherwise, step back and do regular automation. Remember, automation is not AI. Automation has been done for the past 30, 35 years in all companies. There are hundreds of automation techniques. AI is the next level. So you can continue with your automation happily without any AI. No one is stopping you. Your business will flourish. My dear friends, Tata Steel, it spent 8 years to get AI into core ops, and it has more than 680 applications running today. And how did it make it? Because the company saw that data infra, special talent, redesigned process, and human capability is the sine qua non before AI delivers any business value to the company. So the Tata Steel CXOs got it right. Of course, being the same group as TCS might have helped. Most pilots stay stuck. So there are surveys that show that most of the pilots don't make it. Barely 10% scaling actually happened. Companies that actually went beyond the pure experimentation barrier, as they call it, they are the ones that have started earlier. They have invested for a very long time, and they have gradually made AI so deeply a part of regular work that it is not even visible anymore. And that is where AI succeeds, when you just don't see it. So Tata Steel is running 200 AI agents, and it has created its own secure assistant. Public Gen AI is not allowed in the company. And there are security reasons for that, and there are real risks with Public Gen AI. Tata Steel's plants have gained from AI because predictive maintenance is one of the topmost use cases of AI in manufacturing, and it's proven globally. So AI can actually predict with a reasonable degree of accuracy when certain machines will require maintenance. So before they break down, you can do the maintenance, thereby saving the cost. So critical equipment availability gone up from 5% to 20%, in that range. Most of the invoices, 95% automated. So there were employees who used to do just invoice checking. Now AI does it. And the employees used to do that. Now they only do the exception checking. So I think that's quite an achievement. Then you have Apollo Hospitals. It has 20 AI algorithms, 12 in clinical, and 5 million platform interactions. So you have the cardiovascular tool. It has held 35 lakh assessments so far. And when the patients were screened, the mortality actually dropped by around 5 times. But this is a pilot, so no definitive word for now. A trained human eye doctor, a heart specialist, might miss very minor signals in the reports. AI will not. It's a machine. It's a heartless machine. When it reads the heart reports, it can point out even very minor anomalies and give the risk factors, which then can be treated and which then can prolong the lives of the patients. Is that clear? So this hospital has certified systems and it monitors everything: uptime, errors, performance changes. And every 1 lakh interaction, it keeps on checking. So there's some brilliant person doing all this. Many companies, they think that once you have deployed AI, that's it. But they don't know that models degrade in time and models deviate from their decided path in time. So you have something called MLOps or AI MLOps to keep models on the rails they have been launched on. And companies that don't know this, they end up seeing degraded performance. So clearly, Apollo has had a good team that understands this. Similarly, they have given examples of Hindustan Lever, Airtel, DBS, Air India doing different applications. Got it? Now, there is something called the sandbox trap. Sandbox is when you do a limited initial pilot within certain safe boundaries. Sandbox trap actually shows 4 failure modes. And technology is not one of the reasons. First is data. You don't have very reliable data pipelines. And you don't have very well curated data sets. So first get that right. The second is portability. Your local adaptation must be very good. So Tata Steel found equipment models needed local adaptation. And similarly, Apollo had a Latin American disease model, so it had to recalibrate it for India. The third is process design. And the fourth is people. So 4 places where the pilots failed: data, portability, process, people. Then, the moment a company decides to go in for AI and agents and ML and all that, from that day, the governance structure has to be put in place. You cannot do it after. So you have to have the governance structure from day 0. Got it? Business value is the acid test. Efficiency improves, fine enough, AI should do that. But eventually, the profitability has to rise, otherwise, why are you even doing AI? And that is where most companies, finally, that is where the rubber meets the road. So AI pilots survive when companies treat scaling as an organizational rebuild. And if you're not willing to do that, you better not even step into this ocean. This is the whole idea. I hope you enjoyed it. Very deep insights. AI agents, predictive maintenance, generative AI, model portability, model recalibration. So some companies are able to get AI right, and some, they realize it is not for them, they step out. Good. And some realize it initially and they don't even venture into it. But the worst is for companies that go all guns blazing and end up making a mess because the CXOs are not committed to it. And hence the DNA level changes cannot be done. And hence they fail. Take a look. Download the material, study it. And if you're still not a member of our beautiful channel and the various levels, go ahead and join the channel right away. I'm issuing this video for free for everyone. Some wish the AI bubble pops. Oh my God. So some people are saying that the AI bubble should actually bust, break, or burst. And why would anyone wish this on the AI? Let's see. The world of AI. Let's see. So we have Pratik Mittal who says, an AI crash will be very good because abundant cheap computing will suddenly become available. Just like the dot-com bust in 2001 left cheap bandwidth for the world. So where will the larger opportunity arise then? Very scarce physical world data. Because ultimately AI models are trained on data. Real physical world data is very, very rare. That's why now all the companies are struggling to get more and more of it, especially the robotics company. And this is where India can build a lasting advantage. So good for India. Creative destruction, Schumpeter. You have heard about Schumpeter? Let me know. Author says, let the AI bubble burst. It does not mean AI has failed. Technological booms often overextend, and the bad businesses, they go bust. The useful assets survive into the next generation. And the next set of winners can be built. Now, India clearly has missed the AI bust so far. So if this bust happens, an opportunity arises for India to climb onto the bus for the next level. I believe this is what he's trying to say between the lines. There was this dot-com mania. This is a classic historical example, 99, 2000, 2001. So we are talking 27 years ago. Telecom companies across the world, they built tens of thousands of kilometers of optic fiber cable networks. But that mania, it collapsed, and many telecom operators collapsed after 2000. The cables are there. The cables did not go anywhere. They were the infrastructure for the next revolution. And most were sold at a fraction of the original cost at which they were laid. So what happened? Very cheap bandwidth when mobile phones reached every hand, smartphones, 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and internet came straight into the smartphones. Then these cheap fibers, the leftovers of an earlier era, were the engine on which you had the digital revolution happen. Streaming, cloud, smartphone, internet. And India's IT boom expanded because expensive international data links, they became nearly free. So that's why we have a massive Indian IT sector, among other factors. Today's AI boom is showing a similar pattern. Huge spending and the financial strain in America is growing. So you have more than 2 trillion of investment happening right now. Half of them data centers, chips, power grid, cooling systems, and major chip stocks have shot through the roof. Suppose the market collapses. Suppose you have a major AI correction happen now. Because correction can always happen. They may not happen even. Let's say it happens. Computing will face the same thing that bandwidth faced 25 years ago. All the excess capacity, data centers will suddenly become very cheap, and companies which are using AI will suddenly find they can do it at half the price. So more will want to do it. Cheap infra earlier did not make fiber owners the winners. Google and Amazon became the winners. So the same logic might apply here. The deeper source of advantage, scarce proprietary data. Say Google and Amazon, both of them ended up creating their own massive databases, right? And using that, they built their entire trillion-dollar valuation businesses. So the same thing can repeat now. Internet data is practically used fully, modern AI. So where is new training data coming from? As on date, internet is fully exhausted. And now you have more and more of synthetic data coming. So that's in fact degradation. So you need new images, new text, new video when the web has been scraped 99% and everyone is working on the same data. World models is the answer. Current LLMs, well, they have reached the end of the road. We need to train world models. World models will have sensors actually seeing the world, hearing the world, tasting the world, touching the world. That data is genuine, real, new, different. And this is the future. This is the claim. So physical signals is where we are moving now. AI is on our screens. It will go into factories, machines, power grid, water systems. So you will need vibration, sound, pressure, heat, current. All this is not there on the internet. India can have a new opportunity here because in our industries, if we start collecting physical data for training our own physical AI, no one can beat us then. So if there is an AI bust and computing becomes abundant, India should not miss that bus, although we missed the first one, the typical LLM bus, but the next bus awaits us. This is a very nice and an optimistic take. So physical AI is India's opportunity. Whether we'll be able to do it or not, time will tell. AI compute, training data, language models, physical world data, world models. A very tantalizing insight actually. Enjoyed? Great. This is the key. Remember, read it out aloud once and you will understand everything. The AI crash will hand the world cheap compute and the winner will be whoever owns the data that was never on the internet. I hope you have understood this point. Amazing thing, amazing era we are living through, right? So much happening. We try to keep pace with it with our beautiful offerings here. So do go ahead and join our channel. Try it out for a few months. You will fall in love with it. We now come to AI investment strategy. This is an extension of the fourth one. Here are the various levels of membership. A small token of thanks. AI Power of 10 is the current level. We give one such session every Saturday and one AI agent learning every Thursday. Strategic AI review, the comprehensive 3-hour session once per month of the whole month's development. Chief AI Officer, we give 6 detailed AI deployment case studies every month. And of course, this is for CXOs who need urgent help, a full day private tutoring. My dear friends, AIs.com deja vu. So are we going to see the same? So I have brought these two together so that we can complete this topic once and for all. A lot of data, a lot of facts. You may not necessarily know all these facts. It's not even mission critical for you. But the point is to have a broad understanding. Many AI stocks are sliding because capital spending is high. So cash flows of big companies are weakening. So they have to raise debt. And there are many hidden commitments in the circular flow nonsense going on. But the problem is these AI stocks have a huge weight in the stock markets now. So any collapse can do serious damage to the confidence. Very true. And Korea is the warning. South Korea, KOSPI, fell 22% in July. Then it rose again, but the point is it could actually fall. And so huge sums vanished. The big companies there, SK Hynix, Samsung. So we know very well they are doing very well in chips and hardware, and that's why their valuation has gone up. Leverage chip products is where the problem lies. So you have the ETFs losing huge amounts. Don't go too much on the finance side. And 16 AI front runners, hyperscalers, chip makers, neo clouds, financiers, in general, they are witnessing their valuations drop. And Oracle's story is amazing. It has seen a massive reversal because of its very strange deal with OpenAI. People had pointed that out earlier, also flagged it. AI linked companies are now 30% of America's S&P 500 market value. But are they really making money to justify all this? And valuations are 33x 25 earnings and 23x 26 estimated earnings. So the disappointment will be huge if it is. If it is to fructify, or if it were to fructify. Cash flows are weakening. Google Alphabet showed growth, 82% rise in cloud revenue, but when it said that my 2026 capital expenditure will be high, 205 billion, automatically the shares fell because people are questioning investors. Can you really justify this capex? What if the AI revenues don't happen? What will happen to you? So the spending risks are multiplying the kind of money which is happening. Hyperscalers, NeoCloud, Meta, SpaceX, 2.1 trillion, which is that's their expenditure for 26 and 27, which is roughly half of India's GDP. So the depreciation risks are building, and companies like Alphabet, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Oracle that would be totally debt free are now raising hundreds of billion in debt, which is kind of scary if you really think about if AI revenues don't happen. So the credit stress is rising. Lot of hidden obligations are coming. There are a lot of off-balance sheet commitment. Remember Enron? And if some of them collapse, you have had it. OpenAI and Anthropic are burning cash, and they are now planning for IPOs. But you have Moonshot Kimi K3 open source coming in from China at a fraction of the cost. So can you even IPO now? So the long story short here is, if AI returns do not arrive very fast now, this extraordinary burst of spending will actually come back to bite very, very hard. Let's hope it doesn't happen because the world economy will undergo a very severe correction then. Hyperscalers, neoclouds, AI infrastructure, open source model, token economics. What a beautiful word. Because ultimately all the LLMs take in are tokens, all the LLMs spit out are tokens. So to study LLMs is to study token economics, nothing more. So my dear friends, I hope this is very clear. I wish you all the best. Keep learning, keep growing. And this beautiful, very simple infographic summarizes this long story in a very short way. Great. So we come to Indian struggle using open source AI. Why? Open source is open. You can just go to Hugging Face and download it, right? Like always, Sandy's book recommendation is here. I always recommend one book per power of 10. Pedro Domingos wrote a beautiful book, The Master Algorithm, in which he actually went through every possible algorithm that could define this world and which could be used to understand what could be that one master algorithm which run every aspect of our lives, which could create an ultimate learning machine. You see the point? So a few years ago, I bought this book. I always recommend books that I own. I never recommend books which I don't own and I have not studied, because how can I? So this beautiful book, I always read, make my notes, annotate it right there. It's a slightly technical book, but it is worth the read. It took me some time to read. And he spoke about the various kind of algorithms which run our world and what could be a master algorithm be like. So I recommend this book hugely. Start building your own library, helps. Okay, let's move on. We come to the sixth one. So Rahul Mathan says that users in India are actually not truly using open-weight AI. And open-weight does not mean open access. You can download it. For example, 2.8 trillion Kimi K3 moonshot AI model, you can download it. But open-weight is only part of the story. Without inference and test time compute, do you really use it? So you need compute and engineering expertise, which you don't have, and that is why Indians are suffering. Well, let's examine. Open-weight AI models, you can download freely from Hugging Face, for example. But if you want frontier performance, your inference is expensive. So either you make your own GPU cluster, test time compute, and you need engineers to set it up for you. India can easily build domestic serving infra. And because the open source is getting mainstream, this might be the right time for India to build such capabilities. Open weights have arrived. Kimi K3 from China, we saw that today, right? It's a 2.8 trillion parameter model. Parameters are the weights and biases which are learned in the process of training and backprop. And they are what the model holds as a knowledge, the patterns, the weights and the biases. It all started with a very humble perceptron in the 50s and 60s, which tried to simulate a biological neuron. Biological neurons are several orders of magnitude higher than what humans can artificially create. A single pyramidal neuron in the neocortex has thousands and thousands of dendritic connections, and it is an individual unit of computation. It is mind-bogglingly complex. On my channel, I've given a whole video on that, why LLMs may need a completely different structure if we are to simulate biological neurons. Evolution is a different game altogether, you see. Anyway, so we want to use Kimi K3 because it is freely available. But the problem is you get excited, but you meet a limitation. You want to use a frontier AI, you think I'll use it for free, but where is the inference capacity and test time compute? How will you use it even? Earlier, when you use ChatGPT, you would feed in a query in the chatbot, and the system gives you token by token by token response, token completion. That's it. Now, what is happening with Kimi K3 and all the latest models? They are using mixture of experts, MOE models, committees of specialized subnetwork, because the models are so huge that it is foolish that if you write a very simple query, the whole model gets activated. It will burn the planet eventually. So they have small hundreds of experts which get activated, just like the human brain. Different parts specialize in different things, although they are all interconnected. So Kimi K3 has 896 experts, and up to 16 are used during any token processing. So that means only 104 billion parameters are active at any given time. And that means inference compute is very important rather than just access to the weights, which you have downloaded from Hugging Face, as I said, for example. Modern inference involves reasoning through chain of questions, checking of conclusions, backtracking, trying. So, for complicated projects, you never get the first iteration as the correct answer. You have to do multiple, and then you arrive at something acceptable. And much of that happens before you even see the response. You see it. So if you actually click on their thinking process on the right side panel, the model will show how it is thinking, quote unquote thinking. And all that happens for a normal user, you don't even see unless you click and open the thinking process. Tools extend inference. Now, models also use tools such as search so that they remain fact checked, because models, no LLM is created for truth. They are created for answer completion. The only way they can be truthful and fact check is if they have access to the internet and they can check their own facts. Using those capabilities like internet search only will reduce hallucinations and keep answers very current. Otherwise, the model will see LLMs are very dangerous. Every day I encounter this danger. They very confidently lie. Very confidently. And when you can point out that lie, they will argue. And then you again point out and then say, of course you are right. And very smartly and eloquently, it will say why I am right. But then you were countering me just a moment ago, my dear. So if you're a novice and you don't know that LLMs can very confidently lie, they have no bad intention. It's their design. You are headed for a disaster. So please be very careful while using LLMs. So these tools require more computing. Let's come to the crux of the matter here quickly. So all these frontier models, they actually are far more complex rather than running a query against stored weights. Serving scale is very costly. So population scale deployment will be very, very expensive because the weights have to sit in very expensive memory across many accelerators, all of them to behave like one computer. So Kimi K3's 1.4 terabyte of weights is just 18 H100 chips. And that's a costly thing. How many people can do it at their home? If you have longer conversations, you will need additional memory. So basically, the point Rahul is making is open weight doesn't mean easy. So India has a digital public infrastructure, the Aadhaar and Jan Dhan and mobile links and DigiLocker and all that stuff, and UPI. We already know that open modular infrastructure is possible. But in AI, serving intelligence at that point is very difficult. For Aadhaar and UPI, digital rails are very cheap, but creating intelligence at that moment is costly, although the frontier model weights can be downloaded. So we need practical knowledge of reasoning budgets, batching, cache management, speed trade-offs, expert activation, getting very technical, I know. But India can actually build an infrastructure to serve Indians in India on open weights, which we may take from China. So open weights are great for all Indians, but by themselves, they mean zilch. Frontier AI cannot be accessed because you need all this. Real independence means you have your own infra, compute, and operating knowledge, without which these are just fancy things. And it's 100% right. Open weight, inference, test time, compute, AI, accelerate. Technical words, but this is how you learn, right? Bit by bit, piece by piece. Be confident and keep learning, keep trying. This is the long story short. Bottom line for India. I'm sure we can do it. Need some dedicated push. We come to voice AI getting mainstream in India. Because Indians love talking, And because most Indians may not be able to type out complicated things, but they can speak out complicated things easily across 50, 60 different languages and dialects. That's why voice AI is doing very well from India, and it has moved from being a pilot project into mainstream enterprise use. Multiple languages, banking applications, and the future now depends on making the model speech accurate, deploy with trust, comply with RBI norms, and give business profitability. Then voice AI will be unbeatable in India. Gyani AI processes 3 crore customer calls every 24 hours. So that's not trivial, and it is doing across 40 languages. Voice response, outbound call, live transcription, summary, real-time prompt. Gyani is doing 3 crore customer calls. Navana AI powered Bajaj Finance, the voice bots, 12 languages. So customer engagement is where voice AI did very well and helped earn better. And now the big companies in India are actually at the stage where they have deployed voice AI for natural conversations, completing tasks, and produce real outcomes, just like a human being would have. Natural speech is replacing the boring textual menus. Legacy IVR. In legacy IVR, press 2, press 3, press 9, press 8. The voice AI, you can just keep talking and the voice AI keeps answering. People feel far more human doing it. And so enterprises love it. If there is a business result, only then will and should enterprises adopt voice AI. So companies are now demanding that give me voice bots which understand context, maintain natural conversation, complete various transactions, and resolve customer requests. And I should not need a human being to do that, because at 2 a.m. in the night, if the voice bots can do all of this with sustained guardrails, of course, then it is money well spent. So naturally, rate of resolution, happiness of customer, operational efficiency will decide. The problem is, in India, speech is tough. Customers can actually speak 3 languages in the same conversation. It happens very rarely across the world. And a customer speaking the same language can use 3 dialects in the same conversation. It's very common. So dialects, accent, background noise, specialized terminology, code mixed with speech, everything makes Indian voice AI cutting edge. A person sitting in a local train talking on voice AI will have amazing background noise coming in. The voice bot has to filter that out. So better data is required. It's not just that you make larger LLMs. No, you need domain speech data, continuous learning, and contextual understanding. So CoreOver is actually building Bharat GPT for this, which is actually a very, very good application. Right now, India has tens of voice AI startups, but around 10 or 15 are actually working with enterprises. So linguistic complexity is not easy for anyone to handle. So Navana tried 500 users across 15 languages, 60 dialects, and Gyani AI had 14 million audio hours and 200 clients. So this is a capital intensive thing happening here. Banking is where it's doing very well, and adoption across automotive, consumer durables, retail, e-commerce, education, healthcare is also happening. Usually, voice AI brings customer outreach. And initially, companies see whether it's actually happening even or not. And once they say it is happening, they move on to deeper engagements. Got it? Banks are targeting dormant customers and collections. And governments can actually use it to improve access to schemes and information for absolute rural regions where people have literally no way to access websites as such. They would be kind of overwhelmed if you were to ask them to go to a website and do things. So slowly trust is happening. Long process. And in this, you have this beautiful infographic here, which covers the data. So voice AI is now a practical enterprise interface, and it is becoming serious business in India. Maybe some of you may wish to get into it. Voice AI, speech recognition, LLM, code switching, domain application. Things changing right before our eyes, isn't it? That's what revolutions are all about. Check it out. I believe in another 5 years, this would be absolutely unrecognizable because it will be part of life. And people will assume that it's always there. There will be no novelty in it at all, and which is good. We come to economists in an AI age, a very, very interesting thing. How AI is affecting different professions. So TCA Srinivas Raghavan will explain whether economics and economists can survive this AI onslaught. His basic premise is economics initially rose with sociology and political science, and then they went heavily into data. But if AI can do the data thing so well, what will economists even do? Let's see. Economics started with sociology and political science, and then economics branched off very beautifully because it went into data and computing. And economics would always claim, the economists doing economics would always claim, we are more rigorous, we are giving you proofs, we are giving you numbers, data. AI can do all of that in a flash. So the economists have to go back to theory, causal questioning, and deeper explanation. No longer will just data suffice. How times change. This is, the reason I took this. How AI is very deeply impacting everything. Chartered accountancy is getting affected. The profession of economics is getting affected. Consultants are the most affected because typically they would make a beautiful and a good presentation, 12-hour workday. AI can do that in 60 minutes with all the multiple iterations and cross checks and all. So it's like hitting at the very core of what they do. So work is getting reinvented. There is no doubt. And all of us have to adapt to it and raise our levels or be left out. It's tragic, but that's how it is happening right now. What to do? So initially from 50 to 80, sociology, political science, economics, they all expanded. And people actually started taking them very seriously. And by 1990, 1995, sociology and political science had become mundane and routine, and economics suddenly became very hot. And also because neoliberal capitalism had spread across the world and data was used to justify so much of what was happening. And the economists were at the forefront of that endeavor. So, sociology and political science, they all went into the broader field of anthropology, which did not interest many people. Intellectual rigor was claimed to be low. And economics said that, see, we are all database, and hence you have to trust us. Fine, people trusted you. But AI does the pattern hunting on its own. And if that is all that the economists were doing, you are very vulnerable and exposed now because AI can do it 10x faster, more accurately, less bias. So economists need a new moat. And actually started from 1975 onwards, when Western politicians and aid agencies started saying, give us more data. You need money, give us data. And that is where economics had moved on to data. Now, because the whole thing became so data based, the governments also started collecting more data and statistical method became very sophisticated. But no economics model was a final proof because the human being measured, they are not reliably consistent. You do a survey on 10 humans today, you do the same survey on the same 10 humans 3 days later, there may be a substantial difference in the output. Then what do? Two streams converge. So this data heavy turn produced postmodern macroeconomics. And big tech accumulated vast quantities of microdata. So both of these developments are now reaching maturity because LLMs have become capable of performing increasingly large part of analytical work. So economists will be thrown out of their jobs unless they learn the art of asking the right question, merely processing information collected via surveys. Asking the right questions is a very difficult art. And especially difficult if the knowledge of basic economic theory is poor. You may have the best AI model, but if you don't know how to ask the right question, the AI model doesn't help you. And so this obsession with data is now utterly counterproductive because AI does it for you. You don't need a human to do that. Largely. Causality is central. Modern economists face their biggest challenge because machines can do much necessary data crunching. The real question is causality, especially when group behavior and preferences shape outcome. So long story short, if economics has to survive, move beyond data, go into deeper questioning and understanding, and use AI as the tool, don't try to be the data expert. That phase is now gone. LLMs, data mining, pattern detection, statistical robustness, causal interference. These are very big changes. We should not consider them trivial at all. My dear friends, I'm releasing this video for free on the internet. Please do share it with as many as possible. Click the join button and join our membership and enjoy all the earlier sessions. Use the AI Atlas to the fullest. Learn, solve the quizzes, and stay with us for a long time. Thank you so much, and do subscribe to the Billion Hopes channel as well. We come to the closing part. Another 10 minutes, we will close it. Global security threatened by AI and cyber. M.K. Narayanan, the previous NSA of India, always giving deep insights into how national security gets affected. So that's a DNA helix coming up. AI and cyber. These are the two threats, and both of them are converging. Absolutely right. So attacks are very hard to detect now, and warfare has been reshaped. You have autonomous systems which create deeper risks. So that means entire national security strategy needs a whole upgradation worldwide. It's not just about India. Digital threats are converging. The online world used to be limited. Now it is in the hands of every human being. And security threats can spread within moments across borders. AI and cyber attacks, they are mutually reinforcing. And initially, to do a cyber attack, you needed a team and one effort. AI multiplies it instantly. And that is where the real risk is, what Narayanan is hinting at. Cyber defenses are facing pressure because AI started as an efficiency tool, then it became an essential infrastructure. So cyber attacks are using AI now. AI-powered malware and malicious autonomous agents can actually weaken even zero trust assumptions because they do it into 10, and instantly the whole story of mythos and fables from Claude has been a great testing ground for this. New warfare has come up. If you look at the Ukraine war, 4.5 years and running, my dear friend, the Russian and Ukrainian armies have been at war for a time duration now longer than the First World War. Unbelievable. From the Ukraine war, we saw how new tech has destroyed conventional military calculation because you have asymmetric effect. Exactly what Iran did in a different theater. The weaker party cannot be trounced overnight. Ukraine was not killed, Iran could not be killed. In fact, the reverse seems to be happening. So all the governments are now responding with new security architectures. They realize that the old is now gone. We need the new. LLMs are entering businesses very fast, faster than governance is keeping pace, and so agentic AI will make cyber security a nightmare unless it is controlled. If you look at the recent war of Russia and Ukraine and Israel and Iran with US, AI is tracking missiles. AI is instantly extracting intelligence from photos, text, radio, EM signals, which humans used to do earlier. Autonomous munitions, goalkeeper, whiplash. They can identify targets and do autonomous attack. 28th February 2026, when the first attack was carried out by Israel in America, and the top leadership was annihilated in Iran, and the girls' school in Minam and 180 girl children were killed, the targets, hundreds of targets were selected using Palantir software. That's the allegation. And the kids died. And now several hundred targets can be selected simultaneously. So that's how dangerous AI has become. But then it cuts both ways, right? You now have more capable models, robots, autonomous agents doing very complex work. So people are very scared that jobs may be lost and in fact security will be compromised. World Economic Forum has already issued that warning regarding autonomous attacks. Private power is where the real risk is. Anthropic and Palantir are now so powerful, as I said, they are helping the American military select hundreds of targets and shoot. Though it's a separate matter that even after doing all that, they could not beat Iran, and on the contrary, Iran now has a leverage which is unmatched. So this was a bad idea to begin with. But the real bad idea is a few private people are controlling all this. Although in China, it is the state which is possessing that. Security rules will now read a complete rewriting. The old stuff is not going to work. This applies to India immediately. But ultimately, AI models are known for hallucination. So, if any security setup relies 100% on AI, you're going to have subjective judgments which are wrong. You'll have to have bias which will be wrong. So, you need a human controlling it eventually. The problem is the potential decisions on which a human sign off is needed, they arrive at such a pace because of AI that one human can't handle it. That is how AI may one day end up killing this world. So let's not do that, right? So AI competition is rising faster than you can spell it, and human control is the key. Long story short, AI and cyber capabilities are advancing faster than national institutions are. Let's not allow the train to go off rail. Everyone will pay a heavy price for it. LLMs, agentic AI, zero-day vulnerability, zero trust, agentic autonomous operation. What an amazing insight, right? So these are all, food for thought, and you can now dive deep into it as much as you want. That field is unlimited. Many of you may choose a career in this field, although you may not be technically into AI, as I said. Our last and final boarding call: make data centers pay true cost. Across the world, there is a huge resistance to data centers, including in India. People are on the streets in many cities saying, no, we don't want a large data center here. Why? My dear friends, why? Tell me. Data centers consume huge electricity and water, release heat, and the number of jobs are pathetic. A huge data center may need not more than 50 workers. Seriously. India should demand the proper cost payment from data center owners. We should not end up subsidizing such infra because the local community will be robbed otherwise. Public guarantee comes first. New York put a freeze on large AI data centers, and officials put very strict conditions. Promise us that because of you, electricity will not become costlier, local water and air will not be more polluted. You give us in writing, then we will allow. But then India should do the same. Why should a data center come up in a local community where they will end up losing their water and air? And of course, data centers constantly make us small Humming noise also. You realize it only when they are switched off. Humming noises are realized only when they are switched off, right? So protests are growing worldwide because many young people are being laid off because of AI and they see the AI data centers coming up. Hiring is very weak. So, in general, India now faces a bargain involving electricity, heat, water, and the value. It's good. Go ahead, make data centers. For whom? Is AI generating more jobs? Is AI raising the hiring sentiment? Who is benefiting? Final question is this. Go ahead and make the data center, but first answer this question. This is what Mridula Ramesh, the author, is saying. Power demands are rising dramatically. The numbers are given here. Grid costs are hidden. What happens is data centers have a near constant load and also with spikes. So renewable purchases will not end the grid's balancing problem. Wind is seasonal and the sun always sets. So you need backup power. So that is the cost that the state will end up bearing to some extent. Water pressure is very serious. This is absolutely true. And millions of liters are consumed on a daily basis. Already Indian metros are facing major drinking water crisis. And we are in a super El Nino season. So maybe this is a very relevant question now. The kind of heat it raises the average temperature in a 10, 20, 25 kilometer radius range by 0.5, 1.5 degrees Celsius on a constant basis. Imagine, across the world. And unfortunately, the number of jobs is in the tens. That's it for a new data center. See, if India is actually hosting, it does not mean India owns them. Who makes the chip? Who makes the servers? Who makes the storage? Who makes the memory? Who makes the model? These are the real questions. So if the foreigners are coming and setting everything, and they own everything, and we end up losing on electricity costs, on the water pollution, on the air pollution, and on our jobs, and the hiring sentiment, I believe then some real questions and soul searching is to be done. We should not end up subsidizing the private people using public costs. Many environmental fixes already exist. Renewable energy and storage have improved substantially, and closed loop cooling can cut down. So, India should insist on that. Many examples have also been given. So, long story short, unless the creator of that data center is willing to bear the real cost of electricity, water, heat, and grid support, we perhaps should be not allowing them. Do let me know your view on this data center, AI model, compute, hyperscaler, thermal management. My dear friend, with that, we conclude the session for today. Go ahead, check out everything on the Atlas. The password for now is my premium, as I said. This password will be changed soon, but for now, go ahead and use it. I'm releasing this session for free for everyone so that this beautiful service, you can take a taste of it and immediately go and join our channel and make the most of everything that we provide. So with that, I conclude the session for today. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have enjoyed delivering it. So this is your mentor Sandy bringing you AI for real impact. Thank you so much. See you soon.